Welcome to the Keys to the City Divisional Round Special. I'm Joe Aguiar, along with Trevor and Ted. We'll get to them in just a minute. Saturday's games not as close as the scores would indicate. The Chiefs beat the Colts 31-13, and the Rams dominated the Cowboys 30-22. If you watch the games, though, you know the scores shouldn't even have been that close. And the Chiefs didn't win the game because of Adam Vinatieri. So let's put that out there right off the bat. You were convinced, Trevor, that the Colts were going to win the game. So you got some splaining to do.
Well,
Explain.
It was bad. Historically horrible first half for Andrew Luck.
Very, very bad. As a team, though, offensively, defense, special teams, they just did not look like they were ready for Arrowhead. It looked like that Chiefs crowd and that talent of the Chiefs team just got the best of them early on. But as I said, Jason, you won the bet. I owe you a chicken parm. I've been
You've
very
been doing
bad.
a lot of apologizing.
I've been very bad with
Do
bets.
not listen to this guy. This is mush.
Trevor made a bet with our producer, Jason Panette, for a delicious, huge chicken cutlet sandwich, and you're going to owe.
Yes,
you're going to owe big time.
And then he owes me lunch at Randall's in West Haven.
Because of the national championship. Here's the reason why. The Colts had all the right ingredients to be successful this postseason.
Yep.
Great quarterback, great running game, and a defense, a great offensive line and defensive line. Give protection to your quarterback and pressure the quarterback. They had all the right ingredients.
But they weren't that great.
After last week, though, you think, oh, wow, this team, Andrew Luck's getting hot. The play calling looks good. The running game, the defense, the offense, it looked all good. It just shows Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate difference maker, and why he will be the 2018 NFL MVP.
Listen, you're right. You made a lot of good observations, but Ted, tell him why he was wrong on every single count.
Because first of all, he picked the Colts.
Who cares? Go pick against the team. Who cares? Go take.
I like how you said the Colts had all the formula to be successful to the win stand. They did, but a lot of their numbers are skewed. They don't really have any impact players on their team. When you look at that team,
Other than T.Y. Hilton.
You know, I said to you yesterday during the game, when I was watching the game, Andrew Luck's arm yesterday looked dead. Now, I don't know if it was the weather or anything, but he just did not have it last night. He didn't have the zip and the playmakers around him to be successful. They were not good whatsoever. Their defense, has played really well. I know they've only given up 14 points on the average for the last 8 games. But this was an offense that they haven't seen in the last 8 games. This was a true offense that we as fans have never seen. This team is remarkable. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are the new masterminds. They're like a wizard.
Andy Reid's always been a mastermind in the offense.
But he had Donovan McNabb, he had Alex Smith, but he's never had a quarterback like this. And Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Luck's team was flawed. He played subpar yesterday, and that's the reason why the Colts lost. I said it to you, Joe, before we started all this. I said, for him and the Colts to be successful, he has to play A+ game. He did not play well whatsoever, and that's the reason why they didn't win, because when he doesn't play great, they don't have a chance because they don't have the players yet to win the whole thing like the Chiefs do.
21 yards of total offense in the first half. The block punt touchdown, the only thing that kept him in the game. Again,
was that block punt?
Yeah, people want to argue about Vinatieri and the impact that had on. If you watch the game, the way Damian Williams dominated the ground, the way the defensive line of the Chiefs controlled the game, they had no chance. So I'll ask you this before we move on to the next game.
Of course.
You said that you would trade Odell Beckham Jr. and a first-round pick to get Andrew Luck.
I think
I hope to God you still don't feel that way.
We both still feel it. I don't know if you changed your mind over the past week.
I would not give up the extra first-round pick. I said I would trade Beckham.
That's it?
And
You said the first-round
I know,
pick.
but I've changed my mind.
Wow.
More of the third round with Beckham.
changes his mind.
You keep the first round. You get that offensive lineman to surround. Now you have Soldier and Hernandez with the first-round pick, with the guys that have done well this year, and Jamon Brown. You're going to bring back Greco as a center, their kid. You have Andrew Luck with Barkley and Ingram and Shepard. You'll be fine. He doesn't have a Barkley. Could you imagine? That's what they've been talking about. Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown going to the Colts. What would the Colts offense look like with real players around Andrew Luck? They had a great offensive line. They had a great season. The reason why the Chiefs won yesterday, because the Chiefs' biggest flaw this year was their defense, and their defense showed up. And the 3 guys that have been leading the pack has been Chris Jones,
Ford.
Justin Houston and D Ford had a career year, of course, in his contract year, Joe. You know how guys like to play well.
You got to play well in your contract
they
year, otherwise something got to be wrong with you. I always say that.
But they dominated the game, and that was the difference. We said it yesterday. Offensive line, defensive line dominated. Protected Mahomes and put pressure on Luck.
Look, this is a team, the Colts, before we get into the other game. The Colts were a team that looked overmatched. And their three best players are their quarterback and two rookies. I mean, their future is bright. It's kind of like the Yankees a couple of years ago with them getting to the ALCS and then losing. They're a year or two away. That's where the Colts are right now. They have a bright future, though. They need to surround that talent over that great quarterback.
But let's get into the game that excites us the most.
I would still take Andrew Luck, though. As long as you have a franchise quarterback.
Out of your mind.
Why I say franchise quarterback? Because we'll get right into the night game. It's Dallas.
Yep.
Dak Prescott. That's the problem.
Jared Goff, obviously, was a number one pick.
Yes.
Didn't have a great game yesterday. If I told you C.J. Anderson was going to lead the Rams' rushing attack, you would have said, "Uh-oh,
That's scary.
bad day." Instead, he and Todd Gurley over 200 yards against the Dallas Cowboy defense. A pretty good Dallas Cowboy defense. Top 5 against the rush in the NFL, and they got owned. The first time they've given up 200 yards in a game since 1983. That's when Eric Dickerson of the Rams did it all by his lonesome. This was for a 30-22 game, this was a dominated performance by Los Angeles.
I wouldn't say dominant because they could.
Well, you say not?
No, because they could have really dominated this game, but Dallas stayed in the game because they held them to field goals, and you got to score touchdowns in this game. And we thought 7-6, still getting field goals. Dallas was still in this game. It was 23-7. They come right back. They score 23-15 because of field goals. You needed to score a touchdown. That last drive was massive. Going forward for the Rams, you get a touchdown. You seal the deal. You're going on to the NFC Championship. If you kick a field goal there, there's still a little hope. You have to score touchdowns in the playoffs. You have to score touchdowns in the playoffs to be successful. You can't be kicking field goals unless you're going to be going home early. That's the thing. You keep these teams in the game.
Ted, is Dak Prescott the guy in Dallas?
It's $1 million question.
I think you have to look at it like me and Trevor started doing, and we used to make fun of it, but Nick Wright has it. It's called the Matt Ryan line. Is he worth the big money? Is he worth top 10 quarterback money? The 23, 24, 25, closer to $30 million a year? No. Is he worth 18 to 20? Yes. Because if I said right now, if you get rid of Dak Prescott, who are you getting better than him right now on the market? As a rookie quarterback or a free agent?
Oh, we got some music going.
It's okay. We like distractions. Realistically, who are you going to get better? He's the second winningest quarterback in the NFL in the last 3 seasons, only behind Brady. You know, as a Cowboy fan, you're frustrated. As people who don't like the Cowboys are enjoying because the Cowboys can't seem. Yeah, they won the division 3 times in the last 5 years, but they can't seem to get to the conference championship game to really prove themselves. Dak Prescott didn't play a bad game last night. Had a passing touchdown, had a rushing touchdown. No turnovers. Had 233 yards of total, of passing. He's the quarterback for the Cowboys, but he's not franchise material.
Ezekiel Elliott, 20 carries, 47 yards. Got nothing going on the ground at all.
And listen, we forget, though, how good the Rams are. I just want to say that. Because they lose their last couple games, and it's kind of like the Chiefs. We find excuses for these guys. They totally dominated the game, ran the ball for over 200 yards, almost 40 yards of total time possession. I mean, Trev, your boy Zeke.
Yeah.
And Dallas is all line. With this defense line, the Rams.
And that's the thing. And you said it best, that we kind of just throw the Rams under the bus and just say, oh, well, they're done. This was a team that, remember, got Ndamukong Suh, has Aaron Donald, got Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib. We were already putting this team, maybe other than the Eagles, as the NFC champions. They were going to the Super Bowl. And then they started off like nobody can stop. They're unbeatable. 10-1. Oh, they look great. Then they slide. They lose a couple games. Everybody forgets about them. This is a team we all thought maybe midseason, Super Bowl favorites. Now all of a sudden we're like,
before the season started,
that's what I just said too. And now all of a sudden we're like, they won. They're supposed to. Like, we're forgetting about that. Even if they play the Saints next week or the Eagles, I mean, you got to think. This is one of the 4 best teams all year.
Doesn't it seem week to week sometimes you could be thrown off? Again, as good as the Colts looked the week before,
last
they
week.
looked pathetic this
The
this
Cowboys
past
look
week.
great, and then they get shut out
Cowboys
against the
look
Colts.
great, yeah. And you know, that's sort of the way the playoffs go. And,
That's
and
how
I
the
think you're
season's
right.
been going.
Well, yeah, you know, this is one of those things where, look, the better team generally wins football games.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And the 2 better teams yesterday did win the football game.
Because they ran the ball. They played good defense.
I would say other than the Saints, the
quarterbacks
2
were
best
good.
teams in football this year were the ones that played yesterday. The Chiefs and the Rams were the 2 other best football teams.
Other than the Saints, yeah.
Other than the Saints were the 2 best football, and they proved it. They dominated both. They were mirror images of each other. Almost 80 plays total, time possession. They almost doubled both teams. Pressure, home field advantage, everything that they needed to do worked, and they dominated.
Because they ran the football, they got pressure on the quarterback, and their quarterbacks, yeah, they didn't have
No mistakes.
400 yards passing like Jared Goff, but he made the big plays when he needed it most, and that's what he did.
Big plays and
and
no
that's why
mistakes.
they're successful. Those were the two of the best teams all year.
Defense wins championships. You and I, Ted, talked
Yeah.
about that earlier, and controlling
Clemson.
the line of scrimmage. That's really where it's at. Now, first game coming up today, AFC division round, New England Patriots against the San Diego Chargers. Some things to know
San Diego.
about.
Did you say San Diego?
Did I call them the San Diego Chargers again?
It's happened a lot to
It's
everybody.
never, it's never going to stop for me. It's hard.
It's hard. Just
I
don't-
hate when these teams move and move back.
I'll be honest with
too
you.
much.
It still
hard
Can I just say this?
comprehend
It still
sometimes.
should be San Diego. It doesn't make any sense why
It doesn't matter.
And it
Who
never
cares?
will. It
San
never
Diego,
will.
San Diego, it doesn't matter.
No.
Regardless,
matter.
the New England Patriots 8-0 at home this season. Phillips Rivers has not won a game with a temperature below freezing in his entire career. It's going to be 17 degrees at game time. Oh, by the way, Rivers is 0-7 in his career against Tom Brady. I know there's a lot of thought. This is maybe Rivers' year. He's finally got a better team than Tom Brady, but who's voting against Tom Brady in this game today?
Also, you forgot. I know they're 8-0 at home, but don't forget the Chargers 8-1 on the road. They've been road warriors this year. They prefer to be on the road.
They're always on the road, even when they're home.
But that is true.
17 degrees.
But, hey,
It ain't
if
LA,
you want-
and it ain't
if-
San Diego.
Well, it wasn't
as
too
Ric
warm
Flair
last week
once
in
said, if
Baltimore.
you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. If you want to win a championship, it runs through Foxborough. It always has been for the past, 20 years. It's been going on for 19 years. You want to win a Super Bowl? It goes through Foxborough. You want to be in that comparison now of greatest of all time, and now maybe Big Ben, Eli. You don't want to be the Dan Marino, the Jim Kelly. You want to be in that class. You got a championship. Well, guess what? It's your time. This is it. This has been his year. I said anything less than a Super Bowl championship would be a failure for Phillip Rivers this year, and just Phillip Rivers.
How does Phillip Rivers win this game today, Ted?
It's really simple. Exactly how we talked about the games before. They got to be able to run the ball with Melvin Gordon, Justin Jackson, use Eckler out of the backfield, set up play action pass, make Patriots have to react to you. Let you as the offense set the tone. Rivers has to play flawless today. He has to be the better guy. We talked about this before. When you look at the history of the Patriots, they haven't lost a home playoff game in like 10 years. We talked about it. I believe it's the Baltimore game. Your quarterback has to play up to Brady's level, if not better. Your team has to play better than the Patriots. Your coach has to play up to Belichick's level. They talked about the Patriots, and I know you asked me questions about the Chargers, but I'm going to use it in the same way I talk about the Patriots. You got to be an amoeba. You have to be able to adapt. You know the crowd foghorn's going to be blasting all day. It's Brady aura. It's like the old Yankee Stadium. You can feel it. Chargers cannot go down 10-0. I'll make that sure. If they go down 10-0 in the first quarter, the game is over. They have to set the tone early. They have to run the ball with Melvin Gordon. He's going to be coming back. Hopefully he'll be able to do enough with that knee. But set the tone running, and then, like we talk about all the time, pressure, 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 Brady. Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa have to be the difference makers.
If the Chargers win this game, Trevor, do the Patriots consider having a conversation with Tom Brady? Is it time to maybe start thinking about where we're going?
I mean,
I know he's not done yet.
Teams like this, like the Patriots, the Steelers, the Chargers, the Saints, the Giants, teams with old quarterbacks that are on their way out, you got to start considering it. I know Brady, everybody thinks he's going to play till 45. That realistically,
He's got 2 more years.
That probably
2 more years.
If he plays till 45, he'll probably be he won't be as great. He might start declining.
He's
He
already
looked
declined.
human this year.
He looked human. So right there, the worst
But
thing
I'd
they
also
ever
like
did
to
is
see
get
him
rid
with
of Jimmy,
weapons. Like to
Jimmy
see
G.
him when have weapons.
When they got rid of Jimmy G, they really set themselves back. They need to look if he plays bad today, like if they lose and he plays bad, okay, now you maybe start seriously consider. But if he loses but plays really good, like kind of like the Super Bowl last year, and he throws for like 400 yards, but they lose like a field goal game or something, then you still got those 2 or 3 years with him that they could still contend in the AFC.
Other than the Dallas Cowboys, the Patriots have the worst weapons in the playoffs right now.
Yes.
Without a question of doubt. I just did it in my head.
Colts?
Okay, you can have the Colts, but
you couldn't forget about the Colts.
Eric Ebron and T.Y. Hilton pretty healthy are pretty good in 1 and 2.
Gronk healthy.
Is
Gronk
not healthy and won't be healthy, Trev.
When he's healthy,
when you have
just
multiple
said
back
Eric Ebron and
surgeries.
T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, but they don't have back and knee and ankle surgeries like every year that Gronk does. And sorry, Edelman's old. That's why he was taking the juice to keep himself fresh and ready to go for the first 4 seasons. At the end of the
That's great.
Okay. I know you're going to ask me about the prediction.
It's coming.
It's right now. I'm going to tell you, the Patriots are going to win. They always find a way to win. And it's not that I want the Patriots to win. I want the Chargers to win. They should win. They're the better team. They're the most talented team in the AFC. But guess what? I'd rather be wrong in my prediction than be right on.
Man, I've been wrong a lot, so I guess I'm
So
in.
you got Patriots taking this one.
I'm
Listen,
in a good case.
yes,
then,
I do.
right?
I think they
Give me a
find
score.
27-24 Patriots.
All right. You disagree, obviously, Trevor.
They'll win. The Chargers are going to win this game if only Anthony Lynn doesn't become a Doug Marrone and Mike Tomlin. What I mean by that is adjustments. If you're down 3 or you're up by 7 or 10 points,
Halftime adjustments.
Halftime adjustments. It comes down because every year,
Belichick
every time we talk about it, it's repetition. Oh, this coach got outcoached because of Belichick's
Yeah, but not until the
second half
second half.
adjustments.
Thank you.
That's what it comes down to. Always outcoached second half. If they win, it's because of Anthony Lynn's coaching in the second half
Thank
adjustment.
you. I feel like
But
you
guess
took my
what?
words.
I always do. But guess what? I'm picking the Patriots.
Well, then that's a clean sweep here. I agree with you, Ted. The idea of betting against
Foxborough.
Tom Brady
It's not
at
even that.
home
It's Foxborough.
against Rivers in the cold, that makes no sense.
It's not even Brady. It's Foxborough.
The Chargers
All
should
of the facts
bet
support
against
a
Foxborough?
Patriots win here today.
The Chargers should win. Like I said, they're the more talented. They're the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, prove it. If they win, congratulations. But I just don't think you'll be able to do it
Well, it
in Foxborough.
looks like we don't have a clean sweep.
Jason,
Hold
our
on.
producer, Jason Pinette, 27-24. He likes the Chargers in this one.
we're not betting him.
I got the Pats.
No?
I got
We're
the
not
Pats.
betting- we're not
I got the
going-
Pats 31-24. 31-24 for my score.
Joe, score?
In this game, I've got 34-16.
Wow,
Patriots.
you got a blowout.
I tell you what, I'm not sure if
Did you get enough sleep last night?
I'm not sure the Chargers are up for it.
I hope they are.
I hope they are. This is the year. This is the year. Phillip Rivers, you want to win a championship. This is the year, and you got to go through.
My thing is
Foxborough.
this.
Keep hearing it.
Until
You have to.
Until you beat them, I'm going to pick the team that has the. It's like the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Phillip,
before
I
they
know
got beat.
you're probably hearing it in your dreams. You
Gotta
have
be.
to go through Foxborough to win a Super Bowl. It
Roethlisberger-
happens. It has
Roethlisberger
to.
couldn't.
Eli could.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Eli did it
So,
twice.
2 times.
so the last one, boys.
All right.
Oh,
Eagles and the New Orleans Saints, 4:40 start. Some things to talk about here before we get this thing set up. These guys met earlier in the season, November 18th.
did they?
It was a 48-7
The
win
Eagles-
for
the
the
Eagles
Saints.
showed up in that game?
The Eagles still haven't shown up
Monday
for
Night
that
Football.
game.
Carson Wentz had 3 picks in that game.
This should have been the NFC Championship matchup last year.
They became the first defending Super Bowl champion ever to lose by 41 points the following season. It had never happened before. Things weren't looking good after that game, but
Their savior.
6 of 7 after that. And then thank goodness,
The savior.
thank goodness Carson Wentz got hurt again. And these guys are smooth sailing.
Again.
A big win last week. Obviously, look, this is a tough game. But can the Philadelphia Eagles, Trevor, can they pull off another miracle?
It's as long as you have Nick Foles behind, you got a chance.
Do you
it's
actually believe that crap that just came out of your mouth?
Well, as long as you have Nick Foles in the playoffs, you have
Dude,
a
this
chance.
game is. should be exactly like the Monday Night Football game. Sorry, Nick Foles is not better than Carson Wentz.
One Monday Night Football
This was
game.
so was it Sunday Night Football?
Get with it, bro.
Who cares?
It was a Sunday game.
What
It
the
was
hell's
a
the
Sunday-
difference? They got blown out by 41
well,
points.
You're wrong. You got to know
Nick
your stuff.
Foles and this Eagles team, their run is going to end, Trev. This is going to be a party in New Orleans. There's nothing like
I'm
it.
picking all the opposites. I want to be 0-4 this weekend. I'm picking. I want to be 0-4.
But do you really think
He's on his way.
I'm halfway home.
He's on his
I'm
way.
halfway home.
But Joe asked you a question.
Yes,
And,
and you interrupted
I
as usual.
interrupted. But do you really, truly believe that Nick Foles is going to be the difference maker for the Eagles to win this game if they have a chance? That's the reason why they're going to win?
The key is the secondary. The secondary got torched by the Saints early on in this year. I mean, they were going for it on
But their
4th
guys
and
are
8.
hurt.
Their secondary played well. They just can't be so overly aggressive. That's the problem. Last week you saw a couple times Trubisky pump faking them, getting big plays to Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel were open. Because they're jumping, thinking they're going to jump all these routes, they got to be not overly aggressive. Be aggressive, but don't be too aggressive. It comes down to the secondary. The secondary of the Eagles against this high-octane passing offense when they give the ball to Breeze. If they're running the football, though, and they're having a field day, like the Rams, like the Chiefs, it's going to be a long 60 minutes for the Eagles. And that's what it comes down to, is the secondary and the defensive line of the Eagles if they have any shot. Yeah, Nick Foles is going to have to play. Is going to have to be Nick Foles of the Super Bowl and be amazing. That's what it comes down to.
The New Orleans Saints averaged 37 points per game at the Superdome in the 7 starts that Drew Brees made.
It's like the Chiefs. They only give up half the many points on defense at home. 18 on home, 36 on the road. It's like the Saints. They are a different team when they play
a beast.
home. And honestly, I look at this game more. I think the one we talked about with Chargers and Patch is going to be a closer game than what Joe predicted.
Yeah,
but I
I
believe
think
this game is going to be exactly like yesterday's 2 games.
Wait till you hear this score.
Oh, no.
You're going to love it.
Oh, no.
No, but I believe this game will be closer to what yesterday's games were, where if the Saints are smart, they just run it right down the Eagles' throat with the two-headed monster of Kamara and Ingram, and you run it like the Chiefs did, and then you do it like the Rams do, and you control clock, and you wear the Eagles' front 7 down, and then you just hit Breeze play action to Michael Thomas all day. Boom! Here, hit this guy, hit that guy, hit Kamara out of the backfield. Next thing you know, it's 31-7, and the crowd is in a frenzy, and it'll be over faster than Nick Foles gets his job after the season. I swear to God, because there was a thing the other day, they talk about him as a free agent, how high commodity he's going to be.
$20 million per year, possibly?
Stupid question here.
He should answer this
Because
one,
this should be over.
should
Their run should be over this week. But let's say Nick Foles wins this football game today. And then let's say next week
He really
does it again.
And then he
let's
beats
just
the
and
Rams
again,
again.
I don't see it.
Hypothetical.
What happens going forward? Do they just let him go?
I've said this.
Or do you have to really think about
multiple
who the
times.
guy is here?
He's an automatic free agent after this season?
He is, yes. I've said this about 100 times. The Philadelphia Eagles should never let go of Nick Foles. Pay him. If he ever somehow gets to another Super Bowl, pay him. Never lose him. Because Carson Wentz...
Would he be the starter?
I'd sign and trade him.
I don't know if they would keep him as the starter. That's the thing. Carson Wentz
He would never
is
stay.
their franchise.
Imagine if he wins a second Super Bowl and he's
Carson Wentz is
sell high. When's the last time a 2-time Super Bowl MVP is going to be traded after? Boom. You sell high. Sign.
Carson Wentz is their
Sign and
franchise
trade.
quarterback. But if you can have Nick Foles there because, Wentz has already dealt with a couple injuries already, dealt with it in college as well. Now he's still dealing with it. Guess what? You have a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Listen, I know our Eagle fan listeners are like, no, there's no way. You guys are crazy. Carson Wentz, whatever. It is something that you have to think about.
Of course.
If that were to happen.
Because he has gotten hurt the last 2
But it's not
seasons.
going to.
One Super Bowl. But can you imagine if he ever got to another? That
would be insane.
Just getting to another Super Bowl. Not even winning another Super Bowl, but if he got to another Super Bowl.
I'm just saying, to me, it's
The Eagles.
something you got to think about.
The Eagles do have somewhat of a chance in this game, but everything has to fall right. They have to score some, maybe on a special teams play, block kick. Foles has to be flawless, cannot have any picks.
The team has
They got
to
to
be.
get pressure on Breeze with just front 4. They got to be able to sit back in coverage, keep everything underneath. I think everything for them to go right and for them to win today is such a tougher challenge than maybe if they were playing the Rams.
have to be
If they were the
perfect. They have to
Rams,
be
I think they would have had a better chance against the Rams.
You almost have
than
to
the
be
Saints.
perfect today.
And
If
because-
you're the Eagles,
Yeah.
you have to be perfect. 'cause
You're
this
telling
team-
me this place, since they lost last year, the way they lost last year, isn't going to be that place is going to
It should
explode.
have been the NFC Championship last year.
My buddy Charles Reether is down there. The Knish is down there with my buddy Mark.
Knish,
They-
right
they-
on,
lucky
man.
They
lucky
went down.
man. He's
He
a
just
lucky
came back
man.
from Tampa. He's down there this week. But my prediction, Saints win 34-24 over the Eagles.
Wow. Okay. Close game. Again, you
10,
kind of.
but I think
the
it's
playoffs.
I
I
think
see
it's
where
going to be
you're
one of
going.
those things where the Eagles score a late touchdown. They're up 34-17, where it means meaningless.
So far in this playoffs, let's see. Who did I pick? I picked Dallas and I picked the Colts last week. So I was 2-2 last week. I'm just trying to figure out because do I really want to pick the Eagles? No, I don't.
Be the Saints. Pick the Saints like a smart brother.
A smart brother? I haven't done pretty well this week, so that's why I should pick the Eagles, right? I've been so bad that I should just pick the Eagles.
Why don't you just pick the
No,
Eagles?
I'm picking the Saints. The Saints are too talented at home.
What's the
they're
score?
They're another monster.
Score.
All right. I can't give a description. Ted gives a description to the world. I gotta get it just a score, and that's it. The score for me.
Because no one wants to listen to you anymore. So just go on so they can listen
They
to
want
Joe
to look.
too.
They want to look at me though.
What do you got?
34-17 Saints.
That's like what I just had.
You had 34-24.
And I said they'll score a late touchdown.
you
Will
had
be meaningless.
34-24. Who cares?
I have a really hard time picking against Nick Foles. But I also like facts and I live in reality. So I've got 38-9. I don't think this one's going to even be close.
9?
I think the magic is gone.
38-9. Didn't we give them 10?
No.
They missed the extra point?
They go for it. It's going to be messy. They're going to be desperate. Nothing good is going to come out. Jason's got 31-17 Saints.
We're on a sweep. Sweep.
I would love to see the Eagles win, and I say this as a Giants fan. I think it would be great. I would be curious to see what the Eagles do going forward.
Can I say one thing?
You're
after
out of your mind.
All I want to say
Yeah.
is, Trev, and this, I'm going to relate this to college football real quick. I want the Saints to win because I want to see the best teams playing in the final game.
Yes.
No offense to the Eagles. They're not one of the best teams right now.
They know that.
They're
And
the hot team right now.
Yeah.
it's like, who
But so was
who
Dallas
wanted
and so
to
was
see
the
Notre
Colts.
Dame and Oklahoma play?
So was
You
the-
wanted to see Alabama
They're the
Clemson.
hot team.
You want to see the Rams and the Saints play next week because that's the two best teams in the NFC, and they have been all year.
They were the hot team.
Well, listen.
And all the hot
how
teams went down so far
How
this week.
big is the bye week going into the playoffs when you have a chance to sit
Andy
and
Reid
recoup
was
and get
17
everyone
and
ready?
3.
100%.
Andy Reid was 17-3 following a bye in his career. Now he's 18-3.
Oh no, he's not off a bye. See if you can do it.
All right, 105 today. We'll see that first game, Patriots and the Chargers. Then again,
That'll
4:40,
be the horn.
Philadelphia and the New Orleans Saints. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the Keys to the City YouTube channel. You can also follow these guys on Facebook and Twitter.
Instagram as well too. We
And
are on
Instagram.
Yes.
Twitter.
Make sure you do. We'll be back next week for the
man? What's that man
championship
say for
week.
you?
For Trevor and Ted Keys, I'm Joe Aguiar. Thanks so much for watching Keys to the
When you
City.
see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, topics, stipulations, first down, played it. Presenting topics for Kanye, Yeezy to Tom Brady. Facts, keys to the city, we unlock.